Good afternoon. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Here. Mr. Brown.
Here.
Ms. Herbert. Here. Dr. Bustles.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Present.
Mr. McDowell. Mayor Rickaman.
Here.
Thank you.
Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Brown, our substitute reverend, since Ed.
I no longer feel like a substitute. And it's a pretty small congregation today, so. If you bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this city, this council, this staff, and all of our citizens. We ask for your blessing and your guidance as we move this city forward. We ask for your will to make hard decisions in difficult times as we approach the future. We need your patience as we build a pathway forward for all of Columbia and all of our needs. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Mr. Mayor and council, at this time, if you all would please consider adopting the agenda.
Adopted as presented. Is there a motion?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions, changes? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Herbert. Dr. Bustles.
Aye.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No public hearing.
At this time, we will entertain public input related to the items as listed on the agenda.
We have individuals signed up to speak on item 18. Would you like to wait until you all are ready to consider that item?
Yes, because that's a public hearing item, correct?
It's second reading. The public hearing was
Second.
already held.
Okay. The folks who have signed up, do you want to speak on item 18 now? Would you like to wait?
Yeah, can we wait until we get ready to vote on it,
Yeah,
ma'am?
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Approval of the January 23rd, 2024 council meeting minutes.
Is there a motion for approval of the January 23, 24 minutes?
So moved.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion, changes, comments? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Herbert. Aye. Dr. Bustles.
Aye.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Consent agenda items 2 through 16.
Is there a motion for the consent agenda as listed, items 2 through 16?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second. Any changes to that? Any questions? Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. That also includes the Cushman Road site, just if anybody was asking. Could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Herbert. Aye. Dr. Bustles.
Aye.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to note that that also included upgrades at the Greenview Park that folks have been asking for a really long time.
The beginning,
The beginning of,
there's more to that.
yes.
So I'll make sure everybody knows that.
Thank you.
At this time, we will entertain consideration of bids, contracts, and change orders. Item 17, council is asked to approve contract amendment number 3 for project SS 6786, a sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation project, as requested by Columbia Water on December 15th, 2023. The award to Vortex Services LLC in an amount not to exceed $2,279,236.74. The current term of the contract ends on June 30th, 2024. The firm is located in Greenville, South Carolina. The funding sources are listed. It is a Columbia Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program project with 25% CDBE goal. The project met this goal, and it outlines how the prime contractor's services will be spent of this amendment amount, as well as the subcontractors, which are Southern Commercial Development LLC.
So moved.
Second.
I wasn't expecting that. That
He
caught
was
me off
waiting on
guard.
us.
See, I have a motion in a second. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
This is another major change order, and so I'd like for Clint to come up and explain why the additional 2 point something is needed for this rehabilitation project, and if there was anything that we could have done to avoid such an increase.
Yes, ma'am. Great question. This project is a little bit different. It's essentially an annual contract for manhole rehabilitation services. And so this is the second assignment, even though it reads as amendment number 3. The first one was a time extension. So it's a negotiated scope for the next phase of work that's happening. A little different than other construction contracts where we bid and manage the work. This was planned all along, and you can expect next year to have another of that magnitude if we identify work that needs to be done and that type of change.
It's not really a change order, it's really an extension to the existing
Essentially
contract.
is an additional funding for that, but it fell in that amendment above that threshold, so.
Okay.
Or?
No, sir, this is our annual manhole, so anywhere we're inspecting manholes in the collection system and we find deterioration, goes in a package to this contract.
So it's a budget number.
Yes, sir.
Could be,
Yes, sir.
could be less, but it's an
That is-
annual,
that
it's
is
an annual budgeted item.
Annual-
Okay.
Does that answer your questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shealy. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey? Aye. Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
A second reading, zoning planning matter number 18, the annexation future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for 4200 Old Leesburg Road and a 2-acre portion of 4257 Old Leesburg Road.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion, Mr. Brown, do you have an update on this? This is your
We've got
district.
the developer and folks from the community here to answer any specific questions that still may exist. So I'd like to have them come up at whichever order they want to and kind of talk about the project and let's make sure we don't have any specific hangups for proceeding.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will remind speakers that they have a 3-minute time limit, and we'd ask you to keep your comments within those 3 minutes. The first individual that signed up to speak is Mr. Phil Mabry.
Go ahead, you're here.
My name's Terry Bear. My wife was here this last meeting when we was
Yes,
talking
sir.
about this. But we had a meeting with the developer, Phil, back there, and he showed us what was going to happen, kind of showed us what the site project looked like. And we had a real good meeting, and we don't oppose it being annexed into the city.
You're satisfied with the
Yeah, I'm
information you
very
got?
satisfied with the way they did it for us.
Thank you very much for coming and saying that. That means a lot, and I appreciate y'all taking the time. I know it was an important discussion for y'all, and we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I said, he's coming, we had a really good meeting, he showed us what they were doing, and the way they showed us what the site plan is going to tentatively look like, it's the best plan for us and everybody there.
Great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Question. Was your father-in-law here too?
Yes.
Okay.
He's-
All right.
I'd still like to hear from the developer.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Phil Mabry. I'm representing Canary Woods LLC. Just to kind of reiterate what Mr. Bear said, we had a great meeting. I appreciate Mr. Andrew Livingood. He's the annexation coordinator. He reached out to us and told us that there was a homeowner that had a concern. So I got in touch with them. We met on site. I kind of showed him what the preliminary site plan was, and told him that we had, a proposed tree save area next to his property. So he would be guarded by the development as best as possible. Any other questions?
Don't have any more. I just appreciate y'all reaching out. Very important to talk to the neighbors, especially when they have a lot of questions, and it makes things smoother the more conversation.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anyone else sign up, Miss?
We had Ms. Terry signed up to speak, but her comments may have already been represented.
Who?
Terry Bear.
That was him.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Move to previous.
Hold on.
Second, what my son-in-law said, that we met with the developer, and he went over it with us, showed us a map, and it looks real good. We in agreement with it.
So you gonna keep him as an in-law, not an outlaw?
Sir?
I said you gonna keep him as an in-law now, so he was telling the truth.
Yeah, I've lived there 70 years, and it's a change, but we can go along with it.
Thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
And we appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Was there anybody else?
No, sir, not at this time.
All right, so we have a motion on the table.
That's it.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinances, first reading, number 19, ordinance number 2024-006, granting an encroachment to State Capitol Hotel LLC for the use of the right-of-way areas of the 1200 block of Main Street and the 1200 block of Gervais Street for the installation and maintenance of a ramp and stairs and the replacement of current railings adjacent to 1200 Main Street.
Is there a motion?
Motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, seeing none. I know we're all looking forward to that project being finished. With that, Madam Clerk, could you read a roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving into a period of appointments, item 20 is the Board of Zoning Appeals, to be followed by the Citizens Advisory Committee for Community Development and the Columbia Housing Authority for the first set of appointments.
And just as a quick comment, I want to thank Ms. Ashley Johnson Jenkins Wood. I was trying to get to that. For updating the list. We asked for a little additional information so that we could know, where the districts and who qualified and who didn't qualify. And this I like it. I just want to say thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Jonathan Vang to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll for Mr. Vang?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Catherine Finner.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
This is a reappointment.
Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Wait. Make sure there's no further discussion. Yes. Any discussion?
I think that we will have further discussion, and I would like to withdraw my motion at this time.
Thank you.
So we're withdrawing that motion and holding that, so Ms. Fenner will serve until that changes.
Yes, sir.
So we still are waiting some more applicants so that we can fill this board. We do hope, anyone knows on council has any folks that may be interested, please get them to sign up. We need enough people to continue to meet. They had to cancel their meeting last. So.
Moving to Citizens Advisory Committee for Community Development, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Sierra Harris as the at-large appointment for this committee.
Second.
Do you have a motion and a second? Do you want to reappoint, Mr. Brennan, did you want to reappoint Ms. Cannon?
Yeah, I'm fine with that if there's no other.
Could you incorporate that into your motion, Mr. Bailey?
Incorporating a motion to reappoint Wanda Parks Cannon as well to the Citizens Advisory Committee for Community Development.
So we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
And before moving on, I would like to point out that we do have Ms. Harris here. I think that shows her passion for community development. I'll ask that you just stand up so council could see you.
So, Madam City Manager, we're to Housing Authority appointments. I have a motion for Ms. Mosley and Ms. Jenkins to be
think-
appointed.
We want to hold Ms. Mosley.
You do?
We do.
Okay. So I make a motion, I amend my motion to move Ms. Karen Jenkins forward on the CH board. Is there a second?
Do we want to note any exceptions?
Yes.
Yes, I was going to let her at the discussion point.
Do you want a second?
I think it should be a part of the motion.
Okay, I'd like to amend the motion to appoint Karen Jenkins, who is outside of the city limits, but according to our approved boards and commissions handbooks, members appointed by council or individual council members shall reside within the city limits unless the member is required by federal law, state law, ordinance, or by bylaws establishing the board or commission to represent a specified organization, agency, group, category, or profession. And the Columbia Housing Authority does have reach beyond the city limits. So
That doesn't apply.
Did you want to comment?
That doesn't apply. That exception doesn't apply here. I think that we should withdraw this motion at this time. Oh, it's not my motion, I'm sorry.
We have the ability to appoint people on the CH board outside the city limits who bring in the expertise to this board.
So Columbia Housing Authority doesn't have bylaws that require people to represent all of Richland County? Do you know that they had? No, that's what I'm saying, we can't do that. So,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
we got to check.
So since the last motion was amended, you need to withdraw it.
I'm going to withdraw until we have more information about the bylaws of the Columbia Housing Authority.
Moving on.
So the next round of appointments are for city council members to external boards and commissions. The first being the Central Midlands Council of Governments, followed by the Historic Columbia Foundation and the Midlands Housing Alliance.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Councilman Tyler Bailey to the Central Midlands Council of Governments.
Could I have a second for that nomination?
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Historic Columbia.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Councilwoman Oddity Bustles to the position.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
A second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Councilman Peter Brown to the Midlands Housing Alliance, also known as Transitions.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Absolutely.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Appointment of city council members to special committees, task forces, and commissions.
I would like to make a motion that can we do this as a slate, or would you rather do them individually?
Individually.
For the Affordable Housing Task Force, I'd like to reappoint the Honorable Tina N. Herbert as the chair.
Second.
I got a second from the future chair.
I second.
Existing chair.
I second this motion.
Mr. Bailey seconded that. You didn't hear the first one, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye. As for the Bull Street Commission, I would move forth that the Honorable Tyler D. Bailey as the new chair, replacing the Honorable Howard Duvall.
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye. Columbia Fort Jackson Joint Committee on Cooperation, a motion to appoint the Honorable Peter Brown, the Honorable Oddity Bustles, and I'm going to nominate myself to continue as on the committee as well.
So move.
Got a second, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Legislative Council Committee, reappoint the Honorable Will Brennan, the Honorable Oddity Bustles, and myself, Daniel Rickaman, to continue on that committee. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
And lastly, the Richland County City of Columbia Committee, it's my recommendation and nomination to have the Honorable Tina N. Herbert, the Honorable Tyler D. Bailey, and the Honorable Will Brennan as the representatives from the city. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
At this time, Mayor, the council may take up reports, referrals, and new business.
Are there any committee reports or referrals to committees? business that need to be added? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move to the point of public input. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Individuals have signed up to speak, and they will be allotted 3 minutes each to speak on matters that are not on the agenda. We will start with Mr. Wade Fulmer, and we would ask Mr. Fulmer to please honor our 3-minute time limit.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Mr. Fulmer, how are we this evening?
I'm fine. Kudos on your meeting this morning. It was very informative and very productive, I thought. I enjoyed listening in. I'm continuing regarding animal control, non-enforcement of barking and noise. I want to address some points that were in the 4 Columbia Police Department reports provided last meeting. Animal Control Code non-enforcement, again, enabled the January barking. 4 hours until 3 a.m. Sunday morning, and I slept none of that time. Columbia Police Department Gunner wrote in his report that AC Animal Control stated it could do nothing as the dog, quote, has access to go inside and out on his own. The violation was flagrant. The owner, again, was not at home. Columbia Police Department responded, and intervention persuaded Animal Control to, after 17 months, write a one-only ticket on February the 6th. There would be more hours barking, April the 10th, September the 26th. Animal Control chose no ticketing. Animal Control Supervisor, when asked by me, the victim, why no ticketing, he said, quote, they won't let us. Animal Control would not ticket, even though Columbia Police Department had done the work, twice more responded and documented with a body cam and officers' reports. I included the June 22 Columbia Police Department report to council to attest to the ongoing nature and untimeliness of the barking's problems. Because the victim reported barkings, there would be instances of abusive profanity at night from the owner's property. Due to the tension and escalation, I asked for and got a meeting with the Columbia Police Administration and 3 staff. The victim, also phoned Animal Control and requested appointment with Division of Animal Control Director. There was no response there. Columbia Police Department would have a conversation with Animal Control, which effort brought de-escalation. Yet, as before, there would be more barking. Again in December, and then on January the 28th, the police department responded. Again, the barking was from 11 o'clock Saturday night till 3 a.m. when the owner would come home. On November the 21st, just after the council meeting, Mr. Anderson spoke with Councilman Brennan and me, suggesting that he needed a couple of weeks to work on. As of this writing, there have been no answers from council. I know you're looking into it. Regarding animal control non-enforcement of code, nor of the evidence withheld from city legal that was provided by the police department. I submit that animal control intent was and is non-enforcement. And when I come back next month, I'll have a little bit more detail. I'll have a timeline to show more of why I do believe that. The intent is non-enforcement for whatever reasons they have.
Thank you, Mr. Fulmer.
I respectfully continue the questions and ask again for answers by city councils and my due diligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fulmer.
Better, thank you. Is it Ms. Gale? Or maybe it's Kayle? Rayle? All right. Mr. Mustafa Bey. You signed up to speak? You signed up to speak? Okay, thank you. Ms. Kay Patterson?
Hello, Mayor Rickerman,
Ms.
to the
Patterson,
council
how are you?
staff. My name is Kate Patterson, and I am president-elect of the Columbia Council of Neighborhoods.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm here to speak on the awards banquet, but before I do a little bit, give you a background about CCN. CCN mission statement is to engage neighborhoods to be better community leaders, builders, and advocates. Right now, there's roughly 150 outreach or neighborhoods, 50 that are actually certified, but we're working on that. Also, CCN has in the past worked with Columbia Columbia Community Development. And as you know, the city is celebrating 50 years, the community development is celebrating 50 years of service to citizens and communities of Columbia. Over the past 5 decades, the community development has utilized funds to empower residents, enhance public service, and help build communities. By collaborating with the community development team, CCN has carried out our mission to serve Columbia's diverse neighborhoods by fostering communication and cooperation throughout the city. So to celebrate the upcoming 50th anniversary, which is going to be held at the USC Center Thursday, October the 24th, the USC Alumni Center from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We're organizing, and also our theme is building community and transforming lives. I'd like to thank in advance the Columbia Police Department, who's already purchased a table for this event. From my understanding, Councilman Brennan and Councilman Herbert will also be participating at this event. Mayor Rickerman, you're going to be a speaker, sir, at this event.
I hadn't even gotten that. You got it?
I'm sorry about putting you on the spot like
This is
that.
where the voluntold comes in. you
Oh,
know?
okay. Well, I'm sorry about putting you on the spot like that, but I'm here also to,
Yeah, she said I'm already confirmed.
okay, to solicit participations from other council members and also other city agencies.
Yeah, I got your letter today and I plan on coming. I just want to clarify, it's April 4th, right?
Yes, April the
Okay.
4th. All right, that's it. That's all I have.
But Ms.
Oh.
Patterson, before you leave, y'all did a survey. When do y'all plan to talk about the survey? And I thought it was very well timed and very important as y'all are embracing and trying to build back CCN and get more people engaged. I was just curious how y'all were going to proceed with that.
Well, sir, we had it's not the final meeting,
Okay.
but we've already had 3 meetings on the strategic planning. And with that, our objectives, which we're working around it, is to develop leaders within the neighborhoods. That's our main focus. And also to inform community leaders their opportunities and benefits. But the person is actually the chairman to speak on that. It's not here. I wish he was here.
Is that Mr. Mason?
Yes, yes, but we will be discussing more on our upcoming neighborhood meeting, which is going to be February the I feel really bad about this. I don't have a
fourth
calendar, but it's the 4th Thursday of this month at the Eau Claire Print Building
29?
at 6 p.m.
Something like that.
It's the fourth
The
Thursday.
25th, maybe? Sounds,
I
no,
have to go
that's on
look it
the
up.
second. I'm sorry, it just came into my mind.
No worries.
No,
We'll
it's
find it.
Thursday, February the 22nd at 6 p.m. at
Okay.
the Eau Claire Print Building. And a lot of our findings will be discussed there, and we look forward to seeing you.
Great. Thank you for being here, Ms. Patterson.
Ms. Kay,
Now, hold on.
the folks that didn't get the letter, because there may be some people in the room that may want to come to the banquet, who do they need to contact? How much do tickets cost?
Thank you. There's a website.
Talking to the mic.
I'm sorry, there's a website called Columbia SC Council of Neighborhoods.com. But I also happen to have registration forms. So if anyone would like to see me afterwards, I do have forms for this banquet. And that's it, unless there's more, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
No one else has signed up to speak.
All right, I see our One Columbia director out there. I don't know if you wanted to maybe say a word or two about the, what we just approved for space on Taylor Street. I think it's newsworthy.
Good afternoon, Xavier. My name is Xavier Blake. I am the executive director of One Columbia. And so, yeah, we have kind of a partnership to lease a space down on the corner of Assembly and Taylor. I think it's going to be a great space to put some art into. I think I found out that when you infuse art into a location, it makes it a better space. When I first started this position, one of the things a lot of artists said was having spaces to work and sell their stuff was a problem. And you came to me, Mayor, with a great idea to try to utilize some empty space. It's certainly our pilot program, but I think it could be something that people can look at and see if we can do more around town in Columbia. So, yeah, it's exciting. People are excited about it, and so thank you for your forward thinking, and thank council for approving the
Yeah,
lease.
no, I hope we see some more spaces. I know there's an article, I think, in the Post and Courier today, at least on the line version, about some pop-ups going into empty storefronts. So I think this is the next step for people to have some life in those empty spaces and really draw attention to the art community. So I'm excited to see it happen.
Yeah, I even think, with the revitalization of Finley Park, trying to connect those neighborhoods to a kind of walkable space and, off of Main Street on Soda City on Saturdays and first Thursdays. Columbia has open studios in the end of March. We're gonna have an artist working out of that space downtown. So, like I said, I think activating spaces with art is really important. And thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for being here. With that, believe it or not, at 5 till 5, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and a second. Just so folks know, we've been here since 10 a.m. this morning working, so it's nice to get out a little early. With that, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan? He dropped off already. And Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.